So we're going to go over slow weeks in the rental business because, you know, I've got a couple guys that I chat with back and forth, and they also do their rentals in different states and different places. And like, man, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I was slammed last week, and this week I only had like 2 trailers go out. I hate to break it to you, but that's kind of how it can be. Now, if you have that happen week after week after week, dive into your business and do a little more due diligence, because there's a really good chance that maybe there's something else that's wrong. Like maybe you haven't posted new listings in too long, or you haven't responded to enough reviews to keep your Google reviews and your Google page staying towards the top of the listings, or who knows what. Okay, so look into your business if it's like a prolonged issue. But if it's like I had a slow week randomly, that's like not abnormal. The slowest week I have had, now granted, I still did like $1,500 in rentals, but for me, that's like normally like a slow Friday, like literally. Even in the winter months building up to the spring, when most people are like, man, like it's just normal, you really don't get many rentals this time of year. I didn't really have that problem all winter. We had a lot of enclosed trailers moving. We still had a lot of car trailers moving. Now the dump trailers and utilities were slow, but they're kind of a seasonal trailer for the most part. You know, lawnmowers, ATVs, mulching, gravel, you know, all that type of stuff for those 2 categories of trailers. But for the most part, all the car trailers, equipment, enclosed, they moved pretty consistently all the way through the winter. I mean, I didn't have like a week at all where it's like, oh, I didn't have anything go out. Like, that just didn't happen. I had lots of stuff go out usually. But the other thing is, with all the Canadian wildfires, and I'm up here in northern Indiana, that probably contributed to the last 2 or 3 days being super slow for me. Like normally on a weekend, dude, weekends are the money. Like weekends are where the money comes in. Like usually on the weekends, I wish I had double the inventory, because some of those trailers that sit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're gone Thursday through Sunday. Like they're slammed. And this past Friday through Sunday, of course, it landed on the weekend, and we were hit with all that bad smoke coming down through here. And it was like all the warnings going off on my phone, and everybody else is like, you know, avoid being outside and all this stuff, and don't do any strenuous activity, you know, and they're all valid reasons, because the air quality was really bad. Like over here, it was like so smoky and smoggy. Like I was masked up all day working, which isn't good to do even with a mask on, but the alternative is breathing in all that crap, and it was dense, like really dense over here where we're at. So I totally get that. Like that's a valid reason. But if I had to guess, I would say that's probably the number one reason why I had a slow weekend, because normally I don't. Because even my wife, she does party rentals and like tables, chairs, outdoor games for kids, for parties and stuff like that. And usually her weekends are slammed too. And she had like 4 people cancel for the weekend because of the air quality issue. They're like, hey, I had an outdoor kids party, like I'm gonna have to cancel. Like I hate to do that, but like there's no way I'd feel good about having this party and all these kids over outside. So I'm gonna have to postpone and reschedule for another weekend. And so that being said, the consistencies between her business and mine, and both of them requiring people to be outdoors, I would guess would be the strongest reason why I had a slow weekend, and so did she. When you're new into the business, you might think like, oh, I had a busy week this week, and then the next week's slow, and you've only been in the business for like 5 or 6 weeks, and you're thinking like, crap, like it was just a fluke that I even had rentals, because now I've got nothing coming in. And that's not really the case, especially when you are smaller and you're getting started and you've only got, let's say, 1 or 2 trailers. Don't be surprised if in the beginning you have those times when you've got a really busy week, and then the next week your 2 trailers don't really get booked. Like that can totally happen. You should still have a trickle effect of business, but especially in the beginning, it's more noticeable because you don't have much inventory and you don't have much of a bank up of repeat customers to really keep you busy. And so don't get discouraged if that happens. Like just as long as you're doing everything on your part, like listings, communicating with customers, answering your phone quick, all that stuff, as long as you're doing that stuff, like you'll be good. I mean, it's just, there are just sometimes weeks that for some reason are slow. And then next week, I'll probably have so many people wanting trailers that I wish I had double the inventory. Like that's just how it is. I like how I have to slide these seat covers weren't really made for my truck. So I put them on my seats, and then I took a knife and cut a slot there for my seatbelt to feed through. So the struggle is real. But no, so all that being said, don't be discouraged if you get a slow week. It does happen, and then it is what it is. I mean, as long as you're doing your part and you're doing everything right, slow weeks just come and go sometimes. I mean, that's just how it is. Trailer renters always come in waves for whatever freaking reason. When I first heard people say that, they're like, renters come in waves. Like, you might have a slow week today, but, you know, next week, you'll probably have so many calls that, like, you don't even have enough trailers. I'm like, man, there's got to be a way to make it more consistent, but it just doesn't really work like that. It's just not that type of business where, like, you can make everybody have an emergency where they need a trailer on the exact same evenly dispersed, you know, schedule. Like, it just doesn't really happen. Like, you can get so many trailers and have so many repeat customers that you just kind of naturally fill in most of your days throughout the week, but it's not because everybody is working with your hours and schedule perfectly to where they don't really need a trailer other than whenever you can get them in the schedule. Sometimes that happens, but that's not usually the case. Usually it's like, my wife's car broke down and I need to grab a trailer in the next 30 minutes. Like, I get a lot of calls like that. And so, you just never know when that stuff's going to happen. And so you just don't know when that's going to come in on the schedule. But that being said, slow weeks, don't overthink it. It happens. Just keep on keeping on. Make sure you're diligent with everything about your business, and it'll pass, and then you'll be right back in the money. Trust me. I'm also going to mention this little cash box I got here. I just pulled this cash out of here because I wasn't here yesterday pretty much all day. And then right here, I've got hitches. So we're going to go over this little basic setup that saved me a lot of time and made me a lot of extra money. Got a video on this already talking about not accepting cash. Is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard somebody recommend to new rental businesses starting out. And they swear by it. Like, if you rent cash, or if you rent out trailers and you accept cash, like, you're going to get crappy renters. And I just talked to a guy a couple days ago on one of our consultation calls, which, by the way, if you want to book a strategy call with me and you want to learn exactly how I'm doing what I'm doing and how we have gone from one trailer to 20 plus trailers in just under a year, and well, we're just over a year right now, just to clarify. And the whole system I've got with trailer numbers, cash, contracts, everything about what I do, my strategies for scaling and everything. The calls have been really awesome, really insightful for a lot of people. Like, I just got off the phone with a guy yesterday or the day before, and he was like, man, he's like, this was extremely helpful. He's like, I'm going to start applying this stuff right away. So if you guys want to get a strategy call with me to go over your exact business, your exact needs, market research for you, your area, your budget, your goals, all that stuff, I'm telling you, it's money well spent. Well spent. So that being said, the cash box, the controversial cash box. So I've already gone through the whole spiel about when I first started, I wasn't accepting cash. And then people are like, you got to take cards on file. If you don't do that, nobody's going to rent from you, or people are going to destroy your stuff. It's going to be bad, all this stuff, whatever. Once I got past that and I started accepting cash, that's when things really started to take off. But I still wanted to be able to step away from the property and not be here all the time. And so what I did was I put in a cash box. And in the beginning, when I first started doing this, I didn't have a good system for this. I'm talking like the first 2 months in, 3 months in. And I only had like 4 trailers, 2 or 3 trailers at a time, you know, here. And so I'm like, hey, just leave the cash in the toolbox of the trailer next to it. And this was a bad strategy, but I didn't have a cash box system at the time. And I didn't have a lot of customers. So it was like, you know, I get 2 or 3 rentals a week, you know, here or there for a trailer. And so it was, you know, whatever. And I didn't have that many trailers going out. And so it was pretty easy on my schedule for me to just say, hey, just leave it there. I'll get it tomorrow morning. Like, that trailer's not going out until I'm over there the next morning. And then I got to a point where I wanted to go on a vacation with my family. And I'm like, okay, I have to have a better system because I've got a lot of people that love to pay cash, but I'm not going to be here. And I can't have people leaving cash in the toolboxes of other trailers, because then that means that trailer can't go out until I get back. Like, that's just not going to work. And I was going to be gone on like a 10-day trip. And this is like fast forward now 8-9 months into the business. I installed the cash box. I put totes here, and I wrote down on the top of the lids what size hitches are in which tote. And I send a copy and paste with instructions and say green hitches are 2-inch ball, red hitches are 2 5/16. Like, it's very, very simple. And I also, on those consultation calls, I provide you with my copy and paste templates for all the stuff that I do to get my reviews, my copy and paste for, you know, if you want my pickup instructions on how I do it, you just change out your information, obviously. But in terms of my template on how I communicate with customers so that they don't mess anything up, all that's provided as well. That being said, I had the cash box system. the totes with the hitches, all the stuff. I have the email I send over or the copy and paste text message requesting the ID, the DocuSign agreement, or if they go through the website, they have to accept the rental terms of agreement, all that stuff. Have an email when they confirm at checkout with all the pickup and drop off instructions. It even has a instructional video on how, for trailer safety, how to use straps, how to use the winch, you know, how to problem solve something if you're trying to untangle a ratchet strap that's all binded up or whatever. Just very, very simple. It's like a 10-minute video, but it's got like all the basic stuff that you could run into, right? And so that week, go figure, it was like one of my busiest weeks I had in a while, and I did like $3,200 or so on vacation, and I wasn't here at all. And I think I had my dad stop by and check on the trailers once, and then I had a buddy of mine stop by twice. And I think the first time was to check a wiring issue. Somebody said, hey, this one light's not working, and he fixed that. It ended up being pretty simple. And then he just checked on it again the next day, and he's like, this thing's got a new plug on it. Like, what's going on? I'm like, I texted my dad about the same issue, and so he must have went over there. And then after you fixed it, he also put a new connection, a new 7-blade connector on there, and he's like, okay, cool. So other than that though, I was gone the whole week. Everybody just followed my instructions as close as you could have asked for not being here for like a 10-day, 7 to 10 day trip. And really, it went pretty smooth, other than that one trailer wiring issue that somebody was having. That was about it. And when I came back, there was like $1,800 in cash in that box. And I know you guys are probably thinking, like, that's crazy. Like, you have a cash box. Somebody could steal it. They could take a hammer and bust it off the wall and just whatever. Like, there's a million different things that could happen, but none of it's ever happened. Now, that's not to say it can't ever happen, but for the most part, there's not ever that much in there at one time left, because I usually come here at least once a day, once every other day. But for sure, when I'm not out of town, I'm here usually at least once a day. And so I just empty it, go about my day, do my thing, whatever. And it's really saved me a lot of time and a lot of hassle with having to run over here to collect cash. And super slick and super easy for customers to use. And so that being said, that's my little system I've got. Like I said, there's a lot of small fine details about how I send customers the details, so everything's super self-explanatory and super simple to follow through with. But it does work. And from my experience, my location, my circumstances at least, I've never had anybody abuse the honor system with the cash box to rent trailers. I've never had that problem. Now, obviously, you still have to manage the schedule. I don't just like let people and say, hey, if you ever need a trailer, just come grab it and leave cash in the box. Like, I don't do that. Like, I still have them verify what they're hauling, what days, what times. I manage everything on my schedule from my phone to make sure things don't get double booked or anything like that. Can't see why it wouldn't work for you as well. Help you make a little more cash when you're not going to be there. So, again, my whole business model and my whole philosophy is like, never leave cash on the table. Never leave money on the table. Like, if there's an opportunity there, find a way to resolve it. Like, invest the $50 in a secure cash box. Like, I could set up a way nicer one than what I've got. That way, like, there's a steel plate or something with a flap, so they have to drop it and it actually goes inside the building instead of just into that wall-mounted mailbox. Like, that'd be the better way to do it. At the time, I was kind of in a rush to go on that trip when I put that one up, and I haven't had a problem since, so I haven't changed it since. But that being said, there are other options and probably better solutions to that. But it works, and it'll work for you too. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, comment down below if you want to get any rental agreements, templates, documents, anything to get your rental business going, rentalpivot.com. And also, if you want to book a strategy call to really help you get your business launched and scaling and making a ton of freaking money, rentalpivot.com, book a strategy call, and we will get you going off in the right direction. Take care. Peace.